Okay, good morning, everybody. It's September 1st, 8:52 a.m. This market's a little crazy, right? All right, let's get right into it. We'll go right into what I'm seeing on the daily chart. All right, let me get my trusty marker and let's look at the daily. All right, so another sell-off yesterday with a little shenanigans from the month end of August at the close. Okay, so here we go. We came down here. I wouldn't say that's any type of significance of where we came down to, but obviously the market's very bearish right now. Um, Now, I've talked about this before, but if we talk about a destination, um, this is the SPX. So the 61.8 Fibonacci retracement level is 38.99, and that also lines up with the trend line coming from the swing low here. So I think we could eventually go here. I'm not sure if I don't think we do that today, but that could be the destination where we maybe find some support and maybe balance off a little bit and decide what the market's going to do. Okay, that could be where our destination is. Let's look at the SPY just to get the same type of view. So we got the SPY here. So looking at the SPY, same kind of thing. 61.8 retracement is about 388, call it 389. Here's that trend line I talked about, likely destination. All right, let's go over to the Qs. In the Qs, if we notice the Qs, yesterday we were honoring this trend line. Okay, yesterday, and this key support level 298. All right, but in the overnight or pre-market, which you would call for the Qs, we're at 297. We're below this now. So we're holding below this level now. So destination as well for the Qs, 61.8 retracement level, 294. Okay. Also, is this key resistance here that became support here? It's also 294. So that could likely be a destination for the Qs, 294. Okay. Now let's go to my trusty TNX, which is ripping higher right now. Okay. 10-year yield is gapping higher. This is you don't get any more bearish than this. Okay. TNX is ripping higher. That does not bode well for tech stocks. Okay. And remember, like I said, I'm not gonna tell you, oh, go short off the open today because the TNX is rising. No. Okay. This is a warning sign that there's probably farther down movement. Okay. This is a leading indicator. Bonds tell us what's going to happen. Okay. So they're selling bonds like crazy. The yields are rising. Okay. Just to give you perspective, our lows were put in when the yields were at 3.4. We're at 3.2. Very important to keep looking at this. Okay. Very important. That's a big warning sign. Big. Okay. Doesn't mean today we fall. Okay. Like we don't fall like an anchor today. That doesn't mean that. It just means that probably more downside in the future. Okay. Alrighty. Let's move over to futures. Okay. We'll look at that. Give me one sec. Alrighty, let's see what we got going. All right, so we're gapping down in the overnight. So obviously this is the overnight session here and here. All right, so already we're 100% net short overnight, which just means the whole overnight session is short. Okay, and you have a large gap down. So this is a pretty large gap down, right? So it's not the easiest thing to trade. All right, but we need to get some information from the market in order to better prepare us of what maybe could happen when the market opens. All right, so if you know anything about how I've been talking, is I love to look at the volume profile, market profile, and value. Okay, so a couple things here. You just made another move lower. Okay, if you look at this volume profile, composite profile up here, and you can see value here, and now we're tapering. Obviously, because overnight, right? Just started, but like in profile, that would be considered a complete profile, which by profile rules, I would say we maybe can expect a little bit of a move back today. That doesn't mean that happens. I'm just saying if we don't build more value here, we're gonna go back. I'm not calling for a bull run. I'm just saying that's how the market works, right? We're kind of really selling. I mean, we're selling every day. Very bearish. So that's one thing I'm looking at, okay? That's one thing I'm looking at. So let's just talk about yesterday. Obviously, it's a sell the rip market. Nasdaq, I'm sorry, ES came up to this resistance 250 around, call it around 4015. We couldn't break this. We couldn't break the overnight highs, and we sold off. Okay, we did bounce like I expected, but then the end of month shenanigans happened. Then we pushed lower at the close. Okay, so so this is my bear bull line here. We're looking at 39.86. That's the most traded price of the week. Okay, stay below that, we're bearish. So it doesn't really matter what happens as long as we stay below that. Okay, so that's important to know that. So we're gapping down, as well as news came out about jobless claims, which were better than expected, which is still which is bearish again. So the labor market's still not softening as much as we need it to be. Okay. So since this is TNX is rising, a lot of things can happen, but here's what we're going to look at. All right, prices here. The lows of yesterday are here. Here's the judge of what could happen today. If we stay down here and build value out, we could push lower. There's a demand zone here, which could cause us some support. But if it breaks, yes, can we move lower? We can, to that level I was talking about earlier. Now, everybody's short right now. Everyone's short. The most traded price of the session was actually at the lows yesterday. Okay, so that's shorts. Now these shorts don't have they have a good decent location now because of the gap down. But if we go and happen to move higher, okay, and we start pushing, all this volume is short down here. If we start pushing, these shorts could get squeezed. And then if we pop above here, we could squeeze these shorts. That would cause some short squeeze, and I would think that we could bounce and possibly move back down. Okay, just because that's how the market works, right? We're really just, I would call it oversold, but like that's what I'm looking at. So the key is today is, can we build value out here, which is bearish, or if we do move higher, if we fill the gap, how high do we go? How high do we go? Do we go back to this? Or do we fill it kind of a little bit, fall back? Or do we fail to fill it and go back, right? That all tells us information, right? Because no one has a crystal ball. Okay, I like this to see what happens. All right, there's not going to be much different from the Nasdaq. I'm going to go over to Nasdaq. So in the Nasdaq, obviously we're gapping down. Nasdaq was a stronger yesterday. Just to recap really quick, is the overnight from yesterday. We broke the overnight highs here, couldn't move higher, and we just sold off. All right. Now values move lower as well. The Nasdaq 123.20 is the most traded price of the week. There's the bull bear line for the Nasdaq. Okay, stay below it, it's bearish. That's how these lines just help me go. Okay, I mean, if we as long as we stay below this, Mark, I still feel the market with the TNX rising like that. I mean, you got to be thinking bearish, right? I mean, that's the leading indicator. So same rule here. Here's the lows, and we got to find out, can we establish more value here and maybe bring this value down here? That would take a while, but if we do that, that's just queuing up a large move down, right? So it's all about how far can we fill the gap. Maybe we don't, or if we build value down here and maybe we move a little lower. That's really what I'm seeing here. Okay, so let's move over to the 60-minute future charts just to see some levels I'm looking at. Give me one sec. Give me 1 second while I pull up my 60-minute 1 hour charts. Okay, so let's see what we got going here. All right, so click pattern, we all see it. Bear flag, right? Everybody can see that. All right, now as far as what I'm seeing, obviously the bear flag, and we made an attempt twice to go higher, and we found resistance at 39.47. So 39.47 is key resistance in the ES. 39.47. Okay. Key support right now, 39.21 and 39.15. Pretty simple. Okay. Have a demand zone here that's been acting as support too. Okay. So I mean, not much to glean from it. Those are the levels, support and resistance, right? So we'll see if we can break those. We probably will. Maybe we stay in. Maybe we balance today. Okay, I'll get more into that in a second. So let's look at Nasdaq. And the Nasdaq key level, resistance level is 122.28. It's been acting as resistance 3 times. Key support level 121.16 here. Kind of double bottomed here. We also have a demand zone below us. Okay. Also have a demand zone below us. Also have this channel. It's been keeping right here. So we have this channel that's been happening too. Okay, that's something to look at. I don't put a huge weight into it, but it has been holding. Okay. So it's really like, do we break the resistance? Do we break the support today? Or do we balance, right? I'm looking at other patterns. Do I see any other patterns? Not really. Now the only thing I can see possibly happening here is, let's say we do this today. Come up. We already came up here. And let's say we do this and do this. And we hit here, hit here, hit here. Now you got a head and shoulders. And then it's just queuing up probably for a move lower. But we have to have that build out. Just giving a possibility of what could happen. Okay. So let's look into the market profile. And see what some scenarios could be today. Okay, so in the ES, okay, huge gap downs are hard to read, all right, because there's a lot of things that can happen. You can gap and go, you can gap and just balance, you can fill the gap, but then there's so many scenarios, right? So this is what I'm seeing. And now, if you've heard my videos or watched my videos, I talk about single prints, right? So we have some single prints here in the overnight, and the volume is very thin. If you notice, it's really thin up here. Okay, what does that mean? That means if we come up through those prices, there's not a lot of resistance there. And if you get some oomph with some volume, there's a possibility we can clean these singles and possibly just do a short squeeze from the overnights. Okay, so that's a possibility. Now today, I'm going to be honest with you. I really don't say the most. I don't have a most likely. I'm just going to give you the scenarios. Okay, so what I could see happening here is on the open, we might get a little initial selling, come into the demand zone, pop up a little bit, balance here, squeeze the shorts from the overnight, rip higher, find resistance here at 39.53. And what I think might happen is we might pop, scare these shorts here, they get squeezed, come back here, pop again, fail, and then I think we go back and maybe balance here. That's one scenario. Okay, just keep in mind we made some big moves, so this could keep going, but there's a point where you got to take a little rest. Okay, that's one. Okay, let's go to another one. Now let's say if it's bearish. Okay, it's bearish. I could see us opening up here. Okay, a little different scenario, right? Squeezing these shorts. Now look, all this volume is short. So everybody understands. This is all shorts. Okay, they haven't been hurt yet. So sorry, I just wanted to make sure you understood that. So if price is here, we could quickly squeeze them, but then we fail to fill the gap. We fail. We try. We don't even make it there. And then we can come back down, balance a little bit, come down to 39.21 overnight lows, and we can go down to 39.15, maybe the bottom of the demand zone, pop higher and balance. Okay, that's a little different of a scenario. Okay, the first two I think are more likely that I gave you, and the last one that I'm going to give is, I guess I'll call it a very bearish stance. So if we open, I still think we squeeze these shorts. I still think those shorts get squeezed. I think we fail again to fill the gap. We try, we don't make it. We come back down here, pop through 39.21 overnight lows, find some support here in 39.15, pop back to 39.21, and then we can go right down here to 3900. That's the weakest scenario. Okay, so those are my scenarios. I hope everybody can understand where I'm getting them. Okay, and I'm gonna go into a little something else here really quickly. Give me a second. Here we go. All right, so some things I'm looking at. So give me one sec. I'm gonna pull up another chart here. just to show you what I'm seeing overall in the market really quickly before I leave everybody for the day. Let me just go into, I'm going to show you, let's see here. I'm going to show you guys what I'm looking at. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm sorry. All right. So let's look at Apple really quickly, just so I can, obviously Apple's the heavyweight stock, right? Kind of got a Apple's pretty much an indicator on its own. So Apple has a trend line here that we're coming to, right? Apple broke the 200 moving average. But we also have a 50 moving average here as well, and a 100-day moving average as well, which could cause some support today. Okay, today, maybe tomorrow, maybe. Okay, you just got to be cognizant, right? Apple's fallen from the top. It needs to take a break. Hence why I think we might be taking a little bit of a break today. Okay, just to keep that in mind, right? You have to look at what Apple's doing, right? You have to look at that stuff. Let's look at it. Let's look at Microsoft. So Microsoft, let me pull up. That's my support and resistance lines. Let me pull up my trend lines. Okay, Microsoft has hit the 200-day moving average and we dropped like a rock, right? So, and we're kind of double bottoming here, but we're also hitting a trend line. We're also hitting a trend line, right? And let me just look at my support and resistance levels. And we got a support at 260 it's been holding. So I'm just saying this market could be due to just bottom a little bit, but anything could happen. I'm just showing that as, okay, they fell a lot. Maybe we wait. And the reason why I say we wait today maybe is because the non-farm payrolls is tomorrow. So that's a very important number that's going to come out tomorrow at 8:30. It's a market mover. So you got to be cognizant of that. All right. So I'm going to leave you, and give me 1 sec. I just want to pull this up really quickly again. I'm going to leave you one last look at what I like to call the leading indicator, the TNX, and keep this in your mind, okay? This is a gap higher in the TNX. The 10-year yield has risen to 3.25. That's very important, okay? It's very bearish. So I'm not telling you I'm a perma bull or perma bear. I'm just saying that you have to look at and respect it. Okay, just look at that and respect it. Probably calling for farther down movement. All right. So I'll leave everybody today. Hope everybody has a great trading day. It's 9:15, so our market opens in 15 minutes. Please subscribe. Give me a like. Give me a comment. If you guys got questions, I'll answer it. And trying to build something here. I'm doing this for a little while. I feel like I have a good read on the market. Okay. Maybe one day I'll get into some of my trades that I have on currently going, or what I'm thinking about putting on. I do a lot of complex option strategies and stuff like that, and trade futures, and it's that's in the future. But I wish everybody a good day. I hope everybody stays green today, and let's get that market. And good luck to everybody.